Hello there, my name is Michelle, and if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you like watching YouTube videos about crafting, specifically knitting and crocheting and sewing. And that's what I have to talk about today. So I've got some knitting and some sewing, quilting specifically, that I'd like to talk about, like to share with you all. If that sounds good to you, then let's get started. I can be found on Ravelry and Instagram as Michelle's Knitted. I'm going to be honest, I don't post a lot on Instagram, so it's pretty quiet there. But yeah, I have two finished objects I'd like to talk about and one whip. I haven't had a lot of making time, which is why I haven't had another episode in quite some time. It's because I didn't really have a lot to share. My hands have been hurting a lot, so there hasn't been a lot of knitting. And life just got really, really busy. I think as all of us, or everyone can relate. It's just that time of year. But with that, let me start with my first finished object, which is a pair of vanilla socks. And hopefully that is focusing. This is, the yarn is Ridiculous Yarns, the Addy sock base, and the colorway is Snow Globe. And I picked up this yarn when I went to Frederick Fiber Festival in October, I believe. And, you know, heel flap and gusset. I used Magic Loop, a US 1. I went back to my US 1, and I love the gauge a lot more on these. These are for my mother-in-law. So if you're watching, these are for you. They're done. Yeah, not much to say here. It's a beautiful colorway. Did I say the name of it? It's called Snow Globe. My coffee hasn't kicked in, so if I already said it, I apologize. But very appropriate for the season. Particularly the last couple of days, on Friday, we had a good amount of snow here. Not a lot of accumulation, but I live in Northern Virginia and we don't get a lot of snow. Not anymore, definitely not in December. We'll get a dusting, if that. So that was actually pretty special to work on these when it was a nice snow globe. Or had I already finished them? Maybe I finished them Friday. I can't remember. But that's my first finished object. And the second one, my second finished object, I'm going to give a little bit of a disclaimer to a specific person. Kat, if you're watching, which it's a long shot that you are, but if you are, this is a present for Princess P. So if you don't want to be spoiled, look away. But, well, you've been warned. This is my second finished object. It is a quilt. Hold on, let me get up. Ooh, let me make sure I got it the right way. It's this way. Oh my gosh. Sorry, every time I see it, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time again. But this is a little throw quilt I made for a special little lady for Christmas. So, hold on, let me wheel myself back. Yeah, let's see, let's do a close up. This is, I'll call it the ladybug quilt, obviously. I had so much fun making this quilt. I finished it yesterday. I squared it up and added the binding yesterday, so it is fresh off the machine. But let me talk about this. So the details. The pattern is Layer Cake Loop. It's a free pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. And so let me talk about how this came together. So the fabric is it was very intentionally chosen. So my recipient loves ladybugs, and So I started with this one. I was looking for ladybug fabric online, and I found this. It was an Etsy vendor who was selling this. It is Urban Zoology Ladybugs in White by Robert Kaufman. So I found this, bought some yardage because I knew I was going to use it, not for like the whole quilt, but it was going to be in some parts of it, right? So then that's how it started. So then the hunt became finding a pattern, and I wanted something that was relatively simple because I was on a time crunch. I wanted to get it done. This is a Christmas gift. So I found the layer cake loop, and as the name suggests, you use a layer cake. And so the layer cake fabric is everything else. Well, everything, the piecing part. So like these hearts, which look at those. Oh my God. They're so adorable. And then there's like some, yeah, this is called houndstooth, right? I don't know. The layer cake is XOXO Layer Cake by April Rosenthal from Moda Fabrics. And it's just, again, it's so adorable. So I didn't use all of it, but I used a good amount. So that's the other fabric. And then I finished the top, and then I took it to my local quilt shop. And I did not make a note of the backing, like what the collection or manufacturer, but this is the backing. And this is the binding. I just went for like, I guess it's like gingham. It's just like a checkered sort of situation. But it's so cute. I had so much fun making this. Low-key a little sad that it's done, because every time I looked at it, it was like, oh my God, it's so stinking cute. And I cannot wait to give this to Miss P, because I think she's gonna like it. I really hope she does. Yeah, 100% cotton batting, 100% cotton. I use the thread, wow, Aurifil. And I quilted it myself, which is why the lines are very wonky. Please, anyone who's watching, how do I quilt in straight lines? At some point I traced the lines with my ruler. Like I would trace the line. I did the painter's tape. How? I didn't go too fast with my walking foot. I should mention the disclaimer is that I'm just using like a little brother domestic machine. It is not a specific quilting machine. But my gosh, I'm actually a little disappointed because this has to be some of my best piecing work yet. Like I was like, dang, these are crisp, they're coming in and they're like, corners are meeting everywhere. I pressed in the right direction. And then I fumbled it with the quilt lines. Like they are every which way. I mean, they're not that bad, but they're not very good. So I know I'm being way too harsh on myself, but it is still a quilt that is functional. It's not going to fall apart. My philosophy is, as long as the thing doesn't unravel, and that goes for like knitting and everything else that I make. But how do I quilt in straight lines? Someone please help me. Or is it just pointless on a little tiny sewing machine? I'm thinking that for the next quilt, I'm just going to do like my wavy line setting and call it a day, because I just can't get them straight. Yeah, it's so cute. I can't. It's actually got me really excited for my next, to quilt my other two. I think I shared my other two quilt tops that I've got, in progress. It's the one that was like the checkerboard and like crazy, one with like crazy fabrics, but, I really enjoyed making that. And I actually have some fabric coming in today from Backorder Shop. Yeah. So that's it for finished objects. I'm only going to share the one WIP. Excuse me, because it's the only WIP that really has any progress, and it's my Moonwake cowl by Andrea Mowry, or the pattern is by Andrea Mowry. Okay, let me see sorry, my notes are here. The yarn is Fuzzy Family for Creo. The base is Uncle Mulberry worsted 2-ply. It's 85 merino, 15% mulberry silk. The purple is plum. The orangey is Badlands. The like mint is apple taffy, and the like darker blue is tornado warning. So, excuse me, I got hair in my mouth. What can I say about this? So I'm knitting this on US 8. The pattern calls for US 7, and I've done 2 of the pattern repeats. I just finished up the second one, and oof, I should have looked this up, but I'm very close to the length that 3 pattern repeats gets you. So this is what it's looking like right now, which would work like this. Like this would work, right? It would be a nice little compact cowl. But technically I have a 3rd pattern repeat to do. That would take me to, so here's the thing. So I've got 3 options. I either close it up now, I do half of the, or I do however much of the 3rd repeat to get the length the pattern calls for, or I just do the 3rd repeat and seam it there, or I do 4 pattern repeats, and then it will be a lot longer, but then I might be able to like do a double wrap. And I've already weighed my yarn. I weighed it at like how much I weighed it before I started. I calculated how much I have now. I have enough to do the 4 repeats. Oh, I should mention, that's the progress creeper. That's where you last saw it. And this is all I did. So that's where I landed on was I'll do the 4 repeats. It's a very fun pattern. It's really, really fun. And I'm having a good time. It's really, really soft. Oh, truth be told, I'm kind of tempted to leave it here now that I'm seeing it. It'd be a nice little, you know. And then I could make a second one. I don't know. Now I'm questioning all my life choices. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that one. And that's it. That's all I got to talk about. I wanted to keep this episode short, mostly because I didn't have a lot to talk about, but also because I know that there's a lot of Vlogmases out there, which I am watching several, and I'm enjoying it so much. It's really nice. It's very special for me to wind down at the end of the day and watch all everyone making and getting into the holiday cheer. It actually helps me get into the holiday cheer. I try not to be a Grinch. Like, I really don't want to be, but like the holiday seasons have always been challenging for me, particularly the last couple of years. This year it's been a long year and a challenging one, but which is why I watch the Vlogmases, because it really does get me in the spirit, or at least I can live vicariously through the very cozy vibe. So I hope that you all are getting some making in, taking care of yourselves, enjoying this time, however you celebrate. I hope that it is full of joy and merriment. Yeah. I hope you all take care. I hope you have a great end of the year. And I don't know when I'll be back because my hands are still they're still hurting. So kind of a hiatus on knitting again. But I got a lot of fabric coming in, so I don't know. Maybe some more quilts in my future. We'll see. But until next time, I hope you're all safe and sound and get a lot of good making in. Take care.